They come with you when you go.
I need you to listen to me, please. Okay, there isn't much time. Now, this is gonna sound very, very strange, and you're not gonna believe me, and I wouldn't believe me either. Okay, and I wish there was more time to explain, but if you don't come with me right now, you're all going to die.
What the hell was that?
That was death,
It's Grandma. Come to the window.
and it's coming.
I'm sorry.
We have seen unbelievable shit in this place. Roads that lead nowhere. Monsters that come from the dark. According to Boyd, there are evil fucking trees that trap you in dungeons.
People who were lost. They couldn't escape. She said they were holding on to hope, and when that hope was gone, they held on to each other.
Now you can understand! There's something in the room!
In this video, we'll be going over the first episode of From Season 4, what Send in the Clown has to relate to in Acosta's storyline, and that amazing Sophia reveal and what it entails. I know a few episodes have leaked online, or at least screeners have revealed some, but you won't find any of those here. I can't really vouch for the comment section, but I'm just someone who likes to overanalyze TV shows and movies because analyzing any part of the real world really makes me want to... Either way, to start off, I wanted to address a theory that's been going around online revolving around the number 47. But why is the number 47 so important? Well, because there's been many times throughout the show that the number has come up. And while there's been a lot of numbers throughout the show that seem completely unrelated, let's also remember that the number 12, which was passed off as a joke answer, turned out to be the thing that brought back the man in yellow. Either way, getting into it, Tilly had 4 kids and 7 grandkids. There was also 47 on the display in the radio. For a while, they were referencing using silver bullets against the monsters, and the atomic number for silver is 47. The dates in the lighthouse, 1941 and 1978, equal 47 years of difference. There were 7 slabs with children during the ritual scene, and we also have the theory that Father Kotri brought up with everyone living the 47th book of the Bible. Ironically enough, there is a Bible now in town considering Father Kotri didn't bring one. And now, with Season 4 officially premiering, we have it confirmed that they are officially at 47 residents in the town. And if 47 is an important number, then it would make sense why when Tilly died and left them with 47, things officially started to kick off. I really dig the continuity of clothes here. Not a lot of shows seem to care, and considering I think they were actually filming this season during the summer, I just appreciate these fine little details. We have it confirmed there has been 4 seizures so far, with both Ethan, Sarah, Elgin, and the priest who arrived, who we know didn't really get the same type of seizure. Still, I do wonder how all these seizures relate to each other, or what spawned them in the first place. We catch up with Boyd, who is in a very, very dark place. I find it a little suspicious that Kenny just wandered down there and happened to find him. Maybe there's a scene we're missing with his character. But we see that just bearing witness to Smiley put him in a much worse mental state. He immediately looks for ammo to prepare for potentially everyone taking themselves out as opposed to getting ripped apart by monsters, feeling like there's no real solid way to win this just yet and wanting to prepare for the worst. But I feel like rather than preparing these bullets for Sudoku, he should be preparing them for a potential civil war. If you saw my Elgin theory, you know that all this tension may be building towards a conflict between most of the residents. You can see in Boyd's desperation, he's lost a lot of empathy and consideration for most people around him, even the people he spent so much time fighting for last season like Fatima. Getting frustrated with the fact that Fatima can't remember everything perfectly, something that she honestly can't control. Still, I can kinda understand where he's coming from, especially with all these people putting all their hopes on Boyd's shoulders. It was one thing when he took these responsibilities on himself, but the fact that the residents are doing that too, it's just a lot for someone to bear. Still, despite last season them having some tension with Ellis being so worried about Fatima's health, it was nice to see Ellis finally show some support for Boyd and them having a really solid moment together. And if you saw my death predictions video, you already know I think Ellis is definitely cooked this season, which would suck as losing Ellis would essentially mean losing any hope he has of trying in this place. Fatima, who I think is completely valid in everything she's going through and her frustrations at the moment, seems to not only be struggling to remember what she saw in her vision, but that she is also officially a murderer amongst the residents, meaning it won't take long for people to eventually view her like Sarah. So Fatima pushing people away isn't really the best thing she could be doing for herself right now. Still, I do understand her frustration. Last season, despite Christy trying to help, she did not go about things in the most compassionate way. She was very condescending to Fatima and the idea that she could actually just be having a psychotic break. When, as someone who's worked in the medical field, if you feel a patient potentially is losing their mind, you should be showing a lot more compassion and empathy for sure.
I don't see anything.
That's impossible. You barely looked. Just keep looking.
You're not pregnant.
Fatima had some pretty horrific fears about what could happen, and essentially they came true. Couple this with her frustration not remembering anything and just being stuck in this entire world in the first place, just the idea of a xenomorph busting out of my chest is enough to really gross me out, so I can't imagine how Fatima's feeling as someone who genuinely wanted to be a mother at some point. A character who I really want to like but I'm just struggling to every season is Tabitha. Tabitha needs to just start talking to people. I feel like Julie right now.
What happened today? Why won't you talk to me?
Julie, no, I don't want to talk to you right now. I can't.
Please.
I can't talk to you.
Stop saying that!
I get she's dealing with a lot, but even something along the lines of,
we tried to solve something in the woods and I got a bunch of visions. It's too much for me to dwell on right now, but when I'm ready, we can talk more about it.
while I do get where she's coming from in that a lot of those memories could be implanted just to torment them, and this theory does have some weight to it, I do just want to know what sort of memories they have right now. Is it of their entire experience at Fromville? Are there answers we could be getting right now? Either way, moving on to another character that some people tend to find frustrating, but if you've watched the channel you know I'm a big defender of, and that is Acosta. Acosta, who is not having a great first few days in Fromville. She pretty much has the worst experience when arriving to town and has yet to be treated fairly or with any compassion given her situation and context. But man, Acosta did not help her case this episode when she decided to show some frustration towards pretty much everybody in town, especially Boyd. It seemed Boyd was finally getting ready to extend an olive branch towards her, but he kinda missed his shot. But let's not forget, Acosta also tried to do the same thing last season. Either way, something I find interesting is when she's frustrated in the diner, we start to hear "Send in the clown." And I'll do my best with the context I have, but I only have 3 theories for what this song could entail for her character or the narrative as a whole. But first, we have to take a look at the meaning behind the song. Essentially, it's a tale of lost romance and missed chances between an actress named Desiree and a big fan of hers she had in a guy named Frederick. But just like with all of us nice guy gamers, she didn't give Frederick a chance. Why does Veronica keep going after Chad? Either way, Desiree failed to see his potential as a person, and she eventually does try to spark something with him later. But at this point, it's too late, he's moved on, and she feels really sad and foolish about it, singing the song from a point of irony. Now, this could relate to Acosta in one of 3 ways. 1, Acosta could lose her mind and become the Joker like Joaquin Phoenix and bring some chaos and havoc, or it could potentially relate to something in her past. Maybe she was a cop who thought she was all that in a bag of chips, but then she arrives in a town where now Boyd's in charge and she's lost her limelight, feeling like a clown. But this 3rd theory, I believe, is probably more what the narrative is trying to entail. I think Acosta is essentially being looked down upon and neglected by the town, shoved aside despite the fact that she can actually provide some assistance. Yet, by the end of things, with Boyd spiraling downwards and out of control, Acosta could be the one to take up the mantle as a leader and rein everyone together, essentially stealing Boyd's limelight and becoming important despite the fact that all Boyd did was neglect her. But if you have any alternative theories for why this song was playing, I'd love to hear them down below. Either way, I'm happy that some of our Man in Yellow theories were officially confirmed in the very first episode. The Sophia reveal was pretty obvious to overanalytical minds like myself who watched the trailer way too many times, but her performance upon entering the town was pretty incredible. I seriously think this actress would play a great character in Welcome to Derry. Either way, she was acting pretty sus around town, and I noticed a small moment where I believe she was checking out Randall, which I find interesting. Either they just recognize Randall as a person, or potentially she sees the mark on his face and that is a big indicator for something from the monsters. Either way, the Man in Yellow's transformation scene into Sophia was pretty cool looking. And I think those bugs that Boyd was given by Marvin were actually more powerful than he realized. Potentially Marvin was giving him something that allowed Boyd some form of control over this place. Let's remember, his health issues did fix after he had them. Still, if Sophia is just a form of the Man in Yellow, you have to wonder who she exactly is. Could she be an older resident of Fromville or even from the Man in Yellow's time? And if that's the case, does that mean she can't take the form of new or current residents? Either way, we get a really cool scene with her reveal where she takes her glasses off, kind of like she's taking a mask off. And notice how she already recognizes everything about the priest as a person, sort of how the entities of this place know the names of the residents and the people they are. And she recognizes that he was a good person and was more sorry he wouldn't be around to witness the next part. I think this line right here could solidify the theory that when people die in this town, they simply wake up in the real world, and death isn't really the end. Maybe potentially providing some hope after a potential massacre we see in season 5. Still, the Man in Yellow could either be an entity or even a person who resides in Fromville and just loves the chaotic part of the story they're all playing in. In every story, you have the rising action and then eventually the climax and the falling action. I feel this season we are officially going to hit the climax of the story, and if the words they share are anything to entail, everyone's about to start turning on each other. But if you've kept up with the channel, you know that I think the Man in Yellow is either the King in Yellow or related to him. And the King in Yellow, this H.P. Lovecraft cosmic entity, is one that embraces madness and chaos. And potentially their grand goal throughout this story is to release said chaos onto the rest of the world. Maybe something we've seen so far in Fromville is keeping all of these things in a nightmare pocket dimension or a storybook, but if things go a certain way, the Man in Yellow will achieve his goal and madness will be released upon the earth. Either way, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe. I'll be covering the show every single week, and occasionally we'll drop theory videos here and there. And if you like other mysteries, sci-fi, or horror, then feel free to check out the rest of the channel. Or if you like cool fight scenes like Invincible and stuff in The Boys, you could check out my superhero channel here. Either way, support goes a long way and helps me keep up videos like this. But if you're enjoying the season as much as I am, I'm hoping it sticks the landing and we get a solid conclusion come season 5. Either way, stay safe out there and avoid collapsed trees on the road.